what it's like to use packages and memberships, and right from setting it up to selling them and redeeming them, and looking at your ability to have recurring revenue through memberships, and auto invoicing and auto charging of cards and things like that, so that patients can redeem their membership benefits. So what I will do is I will be watching the chat. I will answer questions in the chat while Nick presents, and then I guess I may once in a while just update people verbally on any questions that were probably good for everybody to know. So yeah, Nick's presenting a screen here. Nick, are you good to go? Or
yeah, can you hear me? And can you make sure chat is available for everyone as well?
Oh, maybe I need to. Did I not set that? Hopefully I.
If someone can just verify that we do have chat. We're going to, as Ryan said, as he's going through that, I want to make sure everyone can hear us. What we're going to be doing is we're going to go through and package and memberships. We just set my calendar up just so it was easy. There's a number of ways you can sell package and memberships, but I do just want to go through the setting up of package and memberships before you can sell them. So you do have to create them from the templates. And so we might as well just jump right into that. And so you have to be logged in as the admin, and you would click on the settings icon up at the top here, and you're going to go to the template section. And within the template section, you still have your agreements and forms, and then package and memberships is right after that. And you can see I've already set up a number of packages. There already have been questions on, how do you set up an insurance-friendly package? I'll talk about that. How do you set up a package that someone wants to not pay for the package fully, and what would you do with that, and how do you set that up? And it's similar to the insurance-friendly package, so we'll go through that. I'll go through the difference between package and memberships. And once a package has been sold to someone, it's considered in use from a template standpoint. And so these are obviously, these are packages that I have and the membership that I have. This one has not been in use. If once it's in use, the only thing you can do is you can edit or disable it, remove from the list, and you have this function here to show any disabled package and memberships if you want to enable them again in order to sell them. So I do have a number of packages and memberships. We'll take a look at before we go through the add of one. I'll click on the 7-pack itself, and this is a package, and so because it's in edit, you can't change anything here. So it's a 7-pack. The price is $700, so they'd have to pay for this up front. I don't have an expiry on this, so you can set the expiry. I'll go through this, and they're allowed obviously 7 bookings, and they're allowed a massage therapy in this. So when they book this service, and I'll show you this on an invoice, I'll show you how we redeem it, but when they book the service, you can basically redeem this against the package, and we keep a track of how many bookings or how many bookings they have left within the package. Okay, and then the difference is the membership is similar, but it's not exactly the same because there's a few other things that are involved in here. So it has a billing cycle, so it has a recurring billing cycle. I have this set up as monthly. So a membership is similar to, if you think of it as like a gym membership where you would pay a monthly fee. I set it up to monthly, and again, I'm going to go through this and show you how this is set up. There's no default tax, and it expires after 6 months. And you can also set them, or you allow them the ability to cancel their memberships, and they're allowed to book 2 per month. And it's an acupuncture treatment for 30 minutes. And I'm going to talk about this zero here in a minute. And let's open up an actual ad. I already have one. It's called a Premium Chiro. If I go to the edit, you'll see everything here. So I call this membership Premium Chiro. And basically it's charging at $100. I don't want it to be weekly, so I'll change that back to monthly. And after 6 months, this expires, and they have the ability to cancel this membership after 3 months. You're just going to have to work out the redemption if you do allow them to give any money back. So you have to work that out mathematically yourself. And I'm going to actually change this to 2 bookings per month. So they're allowed to book 2 per month, and they're allowed to book this follow-up chiro appointment. So I've added this service. If I wanted to add another service, so I would hit the drop down. You can't see, you might not be able to see my drop down, so I'll put that in there. And it's a follow-up if I wanted to add this. So you can add multiple services that this membership that someone is allowed to book. Now there's this concept of patient pays, and all that means is you might want to add a service that the value of that service or the cost of that service is more than this service. And so you can put an additional amount that the patient has to pay. So meaning that they can redeem services that are more expensive, but you've just designated a portion or a patient pays portion in this case. Okay, so I will not add that and I'll just save it. And so now my memberships have been saved. And so as I said, you can create packages and memberships from here, and this is the template. So once the templates have been added, you can sell them to patients or clients within your clinic. So let's go to the calendar and let's take a look at we'll look at the selling of a package. And so I do have some fictitious people on my calendar. So Lou Grant is already set up, and I'll go to his profile, but we'll go to Ken here. So Ken Jennings, for example. I'm just going to go right to his profile because I know he doesn't have a package or membership on this. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to his profile and sell him a package and memberships directly from his profile, for example. And I'm just going to click the add new. And in this case, if you remember my templates, these are the packages. So these are the packages I could sell them, or if I want to sell them a membership, I can sell them a membership. And what this exposes in this membership, I mean, I have a premium acupuncture or a premium chiro. So if I select the premium chiro, what it's going to do, it's going to show that he's allowed to do a follow-up chiro. So it will expose all the services that he's allowed to book. When you want this to start, I should have started up here. So when you want this membership to start, so there's a start date, the location, so the billing location you can change if you want to, and whether it's going to be manually processed or not manually processed. In other words, if I change this to automatic, I'd have to select a card on file then, or add a card if he doesn't have a card. He doesn't have a card, so I'll have to add a new card, for example, if I want automatic booking. So basically what automatic booking does, it's going to bill his card every month. When it does, he'll be able to book the services. If it's set to manual, you'll have to manually process these credit cards or accept a payment method of some sort from the person. So I'll just leave it at manual so I can actually process a payment on this. I'll leave it at today's start date, and then we'll go to purchase. And so it creates an invoice, and you can see this invoice is now unpaid, for example. So this is the invoice related to the premium chiro, and it's not a service I'm selling him this package. And I'll just use the quick pay just so we can mark this quickly, and we'll just say he gave us cash, $100. And so now the membership is paid. I'll just close this, for example, and it shows, so he has a premium chiro membership on this. He's allowed 2 of 2 bookings, and it expires July 18th. Within here, you can view the past. So if you ever wanted to see what was in the past, the details, so he has a chiro follow, the invoice, and it shows if he's used or consumed any at this level. You can also print, download, or email this to him if you want. So if he wants to see the details, you can always send him the details as well for the premium chiro. So let's go back to the calendar. I think I've booked the right appointment for him. And so if I go back in here again, if I wanted to view this, I have to make sure that I've booked a follow-up chiro. So if I go to the calendar, so let's go to the calendar and see how this would actually work from a redemption standpoint. So if I go to Ken Jennings, I know I have him on the calendar, and he is a follow-up chiro. And so I'm going to create the invoice. And once I create the invoice, because he's purchased the package, he's going to get this redemption button now. So the redemption button would be grayed out if the service or services on here don't meet the criteria of a redemption. And so instead of going through the payment process, I'm just going to go through the redeem process, and I'm going to redeem against it. And so you can see that he has this follow-up chiro. There's 2 of 2 remaining, and I click redeem. And what it does, it then renders the invoice. And so the original price was $60. The value of that membership is $60, and it will zero out and give a 0 balance. Okay, so it's pretty simple to use. Now, an insurance friendly, this is a membership, but I'll show you packages working the same thing. An insurance friendly package, meaning that they want to submit this receipt to show that there was payment made. So you can see packages act the same way. So they will be exactly the same. So they'll show that there is a value here. They'll show that there was an adjustment made to the invoice, and there is basically no payments on here. And so if you're trying to submit this to an insurance company, you're not going to get reimbursed. And so there is a way to create a package, not a membership. There's a way to create a package in order for them to get reimbursed. And I'll show you how that how that is set up. So let's go we got to go back to our templates and take a look at that insurance package. Okay, so let's go back to our templates and I'll look at the insurance friendly package. It's not a hard concept, but just so you do. So I have a 6-pack here. It's called an insurance friendly. It was already set up. And so what you're doing is when you're setting it up, if you notice, I put the value at 0. So the value of this is 0, but the cost of the service when I put the patient pays is $90. And so this regular price for this service was $100, for example. And I put this at $90. So if I go into here, it's probably easier if I just show you what I mean. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Let me just add a new one and I'll start from scratch. So this is an insurance friendly package. We'll go through this as well. And I'm just going to call this so I can see. I'm just going to call this insure. And so the price I leave at 0. If I want to expire, it doesn't really matter. I'll put 6 months in here as well. And we'll say that there allows 6 bookings. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab one of my services. And so I'll grab a follow-up massage therapy visit. And the massage therapy visit, you can't see completely. This is worth $100, normal cost. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to discount this and I'm going to put this at $90. And so when I create that invoice, it's still going to track everything, but I'm going to require them. So I'm not going to require them to pay when they buy this, but when they check out, they're going to require to pay a discounted version. So I'll show you how this works. And let's go back to, we've added that. So I've added that now and I'm going to save it. So let's go back to, if we take a look at that insure, and again, the service is a follow-up 30-minute massage therapy. So let's go back to Ken and I'll just show you how this works from Ken's perspective. So I'll navigate, I'll put him on the calendar first since I'm here. Okay, so we'll find Ken Jennings again. We'll put him on the calendar and we're going to do the follow-up massage, 30 minutes, and I'm going to book him in. So he's booked in and I'm going to go to his profile and I'm going to sell him that insurance friendly package. So again, you'll see what happens. So I'll go to package and memberships. I'm going to sell him another one. This time I'm going to sell him this one here that there's no value because we've left it at 0. We're going to purchase it, but he's got to pay $90. We're going to purchase that. Okay, so he's purchased that 6 of 6. There is there's no cost to him, so he has purchased that 6 of 6. And so when I go to book that appointment, so I'm sorry, when I go to create that invoice, I'll go back to this. The math might not work out on this one, but the concept is still the same. So I create the invoice and I'll go to the invoice. And so what happens is I can redeem it. So I don't have to, oh, it does work. So I don't have to pay the $100. Okay. I'm going to redeem it. And a client pays of $90. So I click redeem. Okay. And it renders that there's $10 still outstanding owed by the patient. Sorry, $10 has been applied against this and he owes $90. And so when I click pay, I'll set a payment method of cash, for example, and I'll pay that. And if I come back to the invoice, for example, you'll notice it's all rendered correctly. So we've applied $10 off the regular price, but I need to show a payment and I show a transaction and now he can submit this for reimbursement to his insurance company to show that he actually did pay for this service. And so that's how you'd set up an insurance friendly package. Okay, and I'm sure there might be some questions on this. There's a help article on this. So basically, again, what you're doing, you just have to think of it this way. The package you're selling has no value, but the discount on the patient pores is what you're going to put when you're creating your package. And that's all you have to remember. And then you can set your package up. Okay, so that's the redemption. The other question that we get is what happens if I want to set it up? Oh, wait a minute, I do have to show what happens if I want to set it up where the person partially pays, for example, for a package, because the package can't be redeemed until it's fully paid. And so it'd be the same sort of concept. So I'll go back to my templates and I'll set one up for a partially paid one, and I'll show you how that's done as well. So I'll add one that you're going to accept. You're not going to call it partial paid, but I just need to do this so I can find, you know, the service, the package itself. So this is a partially paid package. I'm going to leave the amount at 0 because I need to add this to someone's profile so they can start using the package. I'm going to say the expiry date again. I'll put it at 6 months. For example, I'll allow them to do 6 bookings. And I'll select a service just like I did. And this time I will select a follow-up Chiro visit, which is normally priced out at $60. I'm going to put it at $50. Again, give them that discount, and I'm going to add it. Okay, and so we've added it, and so the patient pays portion is at $50. So I'll save that, and I'll show you how this works. So we'll go back to Ken. I won't do it from the calendar. I'll just do everything from his profile now. Ken Jennings. So we'll do everything from Ken Jennings' profile. And this time what we're going to do is we're going to add another package. And this time we're going to do the partial paid, which also has a 0 value, because if it has a value, they have to pay for it in full. Again, you want to take payments at some point throughout the life cycle, or maybe even after they've consumed this package. So we'll purchase this. Okay, and then I will go to the billing section. I'll just add a invoice here, knowing that the partial paid, I just want to make sure I grab the right service. It's a follow-up Chiro. So I'll go to the billing section and I'll just add an invoice to his profile, and Chiro 30 minutes, and we'll finish. Okay, and so now I have that redemption button. So it's exactly the same workflow. And so if I redeem it, very similar to insurance, there's a slight twist, and I'll show you what the slight twist is. So I'll redeem it so he can redeem against the partial paid. These are the 2 services, but I'm going to redeem it against the partial paid package. And the same thing happens, but the difference is he owes us $50, but he may not have the money, or you may want to accept payment in maybe lump sum. And so what you could do is, if you're either going to pay these invoices off maybe sometime in the future or in bulk, or maybe what you want to do is you just want to accept some payments. And so if this package, in this case, there's 6 of them, it's worth $300, maybe you accept a $100 payment, you know, every month, or whatever you want to do, whatever your payment schedule is. So we'll just, what you could do is you can just add a payment to his profile. And so what I'm going to do is uncheck these invoices, because I want to add a payment. I want to put a payment in credit. And so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a payment, and I'm going to say he gave me cash, and he gave me $100, and I'm going to pay. So what it's basically doing is, basically I'm saying I have $100 in credit. So I've accepted a payment. This invoice is unpaid. And so what I can do is I can come to this invoice here that has that package on it, and I can hit pay, because I know he owes $50. The regular price was supposed to be $60. So I'll add a payment method. And I'll just apply it from the credit, and it's going to whittle down on his credit, and I can just pay down this invoice. Okay, so I'll just go through the steps again. So what I did was I added that insurer-friendly package. You can see it's counting down as well, and this is for people who want to partially pay. So there's no value to this. I discounted. So if I go back in here, there's no value again, but I discounted the service by $10. And what I did was I just accept a payment. If I go back to the billing section, I accept a payment at some point, and I put it in credit, so it moves it into credit, and I can pay down any invoices from the past or in the future that he may build up. Okay, so that's how you do it, an insurance-friendly package. The other thing that we do expose, I don't know if it's on my dashboard today, if there's, oh, sorry, I meant to go to the dashboard. We also expose any missed invoices, okay, that you need to catch up on, or any unpaid invoices. And so unpaid invoices, for example, these are the ones that I set up and I didn't pay for. So these are memberships. It only comes up in memberships. So an unpaid invoice could happen for a number of reasons. If you have it on recurring billing, you may have, they may have no funds left on the credit card. The credit card may expire. It just might fail. And so at some point you will need to pay off this invoice. or else they're not going to be able to redeem against their memberships. And so we'll keep track of that for you, so you don't have to try and remember. You know, if you wonder why it's not redeeming, you should come to the dashboard, and if you ever see any numbers here, you should act on them, because it's not, their memberships aren't going to work when you're trying to redeem it. So that's the basis of package and memberships. I don't know if there's any questions. I haven't been really following the chat, so
Yeah,
I don't.
yeah. There's a few that came up that I can kind of just verbally answer.
Okay.
Can packages have different dates? They have an expiry date. They don't have a start date. You did cover the insurance-friendly packages, although there was a question. I'm going to get back to it because it's further down. They can't buy packages online yet, but it is something that's on the roadmap. They also can't see package consumption yet in the portal, but that's also on the roadmap. And just to kind of reiterate, I know he already mentioned it, Nick mentioned it, but the patient pays portion, that represents the additional amount that specific services pay when redeeming that package, so that you can put multiple services of all different values, financial values, on the same package, and then just charge a bit extra for certain services so that they can all still be redeemed.
So here, I just showed you an example of this, Ryan. So this was a
Yeah,
30-minute, for example. The regular price is $100. There's no patient pays. This is a 120. So basically, we're allowing you to book this, but we want the additional $20 to be paid as well.
Yeah. The difference between a package and a membership, the main difference, I mean, they're both essentially, they give you the ability to redeem. A package is a one-time purchase that does not renew, and it has a fixed amount of consumptions. And then a membership, it simply renews on a billing period, and you have to consume your redemptions within that billing period. And that it also can be connected to a credit card, so it automatically charges the card as well. So that's kind of the key with the membership.
Yeah, so this is what you're talking about, that billing cycle. Okay, so that billing cycle, if I set this to weekly, it's going to build their card, or you're going to manually charge their card every week in order to consume. And once they've consumed it, they won't be able to redeem against that. So until the next bill, until they get billed again.
Yeah. Acupuncturists in Ontario cannot charge clients before service rendered. I don't know how to answer that.
So they can't charge. Okay, so you would do the partially paid type of. So you'd go back to this one right here. This is how I set it up. So it would be a zero value. You'd give them the discounted amount. So if your service for, in this case, this service was regular price at $60, and I set the patient pays to $50. And so at the time, basically you're adding a package there, but you're basically giving them a discount value because they've consumed the package, and you accept payment of $50 at the time of. And so that means the service would be rendered. You would basically sell them a package, but you'd be only basically selling it one at a time in this case.
Okay, and then payments. So the automatic payments for memberships, that's supported through both Bambora and Square. So it depends. You can use either one. Hopefully that Nick's clarification of insurance answered why the insurance friendly package is sold at $0.
Yes, because they want, if I can just elaborate on that. So the invoices, they
Sure.
want to see a payment. And so again, this would force a payment on that invoice of $50, and so they can get redeemed for that, basically, how that's being handled.
So yeah, the clients or patients cannot buy these packages of memberships online yet, but they're sold internally by the staff member. So there's an invoice for the package or the membership, as you would expect. Let's see here. Can they book a package? So when they book online, if they have a service that is eligible for a package or a membership that they have, then the online booking payment policy is skipped. So, so if you have a package for a massage and you book a massage and you require full payment to book online, we actually don't enforce the full payment because we don't know if you are planning on redeeming or not. So when a patient books online, if the service they have might qualify as one of the packages or memberships that they have, you have to make that decision at the time of service if they're going to redeem or not, because it's just not possible to know.
So I don't know. So Ryan, so hold on, Ryan.
Yeah.
So again, so basically the way I set it up as a deposit here, just to be clear, that they bypass this deposit. So they're not going to require to put a deposit if the service that they're booking is within their within a package, for example, our membership.
A package that they own. Yes.
That they own, yeah.
Yeah.
But if they select a
Um,
service that's outside of that criteria, they will be required to put a deposit on.
yeah.
And so at the time of redemption, when that invoice would be created, so if they show up, the workflow is exactly the same. You would create the invoice and then hit redeem, and then you'd redeem it against the package. So basically, we're not enforcing the payment policy that you have set.
Is there a roadmap for clients purchasing package sometime this year? We don't have an ETA for it, but we are actively developing towards it. But we don't have an ETA yet. So if I have a client who wants to do a membership package at 2 sessions a month, and they want to do 60-minute session and a second massage, 90 minutes, there are 2 different prices. Is there an automatic upcharge? Yes, that's the patient pays portion. So, you know, if the lowest one is the 60 and the highest one is the 90, then you'd put it $0, patient pays for the 60, and then whatever the difference is, say it's, you know, $20 or something for the 90, you would have a patient pays of 90. I have already set up a packet. I've already set up a membership through Square. I have a few clients using it already. Am I able to transfer this over or need to cancel? So yeah, you probably, I would recommend, depending on how many you have, if you can do them all at once, then great. But yeah, you basically need to cancel your memberships in Square and rebuild them in Notero. You wouldn't want to run them both. That would just be confusing. I have not set up my online payment. Is it possible to have an option to pay online, but not necessarily to book? No, the only concept of paying online is during the booking process. There is work in progress for the ability to pay an outstanding invoice, so that if an invoice is outstanding, you have the ability to request a payment and then they could pay, but that invoice would have to pre-exist. But that is not released yet, but that is in development. Insurance-friendly packages paid. Are insurance-friendly packages paid for in advance? Let's say you usually charge 110 for a service and are selling a package of 6 for 600, savings of $10 per session. Do they pay the $600 up front?
So could I answer that? So you could do
Go
the
ahead.
same thing. Yeah, you could do the same thing. So you don't have to wait for that patient pays portion. So if you remember, I'll just go to any profile. It doesn't really matter. So if I go to, I want to go to one that probably doesn't have any activity on it here. So for example, if I had sold a package here, so I'll do the insurance friendly package. I'll add the insurance friendly package, which is set at $90, so that's $540. So I'll purchase that, and I know that I can pay down through credit. You know, it'll show a transaction. Then I come up to my billing section, and I take that $540 as a payment from them. So I'll add that to credit. I'll add a payment method. Again, we'll just say that they paid me cash, and I'll put $540. And so now they've paid for the full package up front, and you can then draw down on credit, and it'll show a transaction on the next invoice when you're redeeming this package. So yes, you can collect money up front if you want to as well.
Okay, thanks. Yes, lots to absorb. We're recording this meeting and I will be uploading it to YouTube. So there is a playlist on our YouTube channel called webinars. It'll be in there, usually within a few days. So. I will wait to add memberships until the clients can purchase and see them. Great progress. Thanks. Yep. Thank you. Yep. We're continually working on it. So this is just phase 1 that we've got here.
And Ryan, I did forget to show something. I mean, in the ad new, you can also, like, if someone just walked in, or if you want to sell a package, you don't have to go to a profile. You can also do it from the ad new. So we've also added the package and memberships. You don't have to directly go to a profile. You'd have to then select the person's name, and then, you know, and then step through the screens. So you can also do it through the ad new. You don't have to have them on the calendar or go directly to their profile.
Yeah, and again, if you need to see anything again, you can always just we'll have this up within a few days on our YouTube channel in the webinar playlist. Any other questions? And if you'd like to unmute, you can request to, and I can just unmute you if you wanted to verbally ask. But Otherwise, just drop questions in the chat and we'll answer them as long as you like. Yeah, okay, let me, okay, you can unmute. We got one here, I think. There you go.
Yes. Hi, thank you. So my question about payments is I not set up for them. I wasn't sure if it's something with payments where if I open up online payment, they have to pay in order to book an appointment because I already do packages, or if it's something where I can open up online payments and the option to pay is available but not necessary. Did you catch that?
Nick?
Yeah, I'm just trying to absorb. I'm not 100% following what you're like. What I'm not 100%. I don't quite understand. Sorry.
Okay, so I currently do not accept payment on Notero. I
Okay.
would like to accept payment, but I am
Okay.
not clear if once I open up the payment, if they are required to pay in order to book a massage, because I do massage. Yeah.
Okay. So without one of our payment processors, either being Bambora or Square, you will not be able to enable the payment process.
Okay, so I have Square and I believe I've linked it to the Notero, but I wasn't sure if once I do enable that, it forces them to pay in order to book, because some people have packages and won't need to pay in order to book already. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so you'd have to have a package set up in Notero, number one, and the service
Okay.
the service that they're booking would have to, so if I'm booking a service that falls within a package, okay, so if I'm booking, so if I'll go back to here, so we can talk about real things here. So if I go back to this template, for example, and let's just say that they've paid for the 7-pack and they're trying to book a 30-minute massage, but you require full payment for the 30-minute massage. Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to bypass that payment requirement because we detect that they have an eligible package on this service. So the service is related to an eligible package, and so they will not have to pay for this. But at the time of checking them out on the calendar, you can then redeem that service against your package. So no, they will not have to pay at the time of checking out.
But is that the only option for non-payment at time of booking?
You have a choice too when you're setting up your services. So if I set up my services, if I go back to the web portal, for example, and if I set, let me just go back here. So I'm connected to Square. My online booking is require a full payment. Okay, for example. So every
Okay.
service that gets booked is required full payment. However, when I come down to these services, I may say that follow-up for massage therapy, I'm going to override that. I don't want them to have to pay for that. So there's an override here, and I could say no. So for this one service, there is no requirement. So they don't have to pay anything when they book this specific service called follow-up.
Okay, so I could make it so that just brand new clients have to make a
Yeah,
payment.
see
Okay.
this initial visit.
Yeah.
So I can set that initial visit, and I
Yeah.
can specifically just say for that initial visit, it's full. It's not credit card. It's full payment required.
Okay. Okay. That I really appreciate that. That makes sense.
Okay.
I
Oh,
understand
you're
it.
welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
So there's another question about insurance. I mean, these are just examples of ways that you can use it. You have to ensure that whatever you're doing is, allowed in the region that you're in. But there's basically two ways of doing it. You either collect money up front when selling a package or membership, and they can redeem services at along the way, and you issue invoices at those times, or you don't collect any money up front and you sell them a $0 package, and you bill and collect the money on the day of treatment, depending on what works better for you and based on what your restrictions are. Basic question, just make sure that I have the mechanics. Say a patient has their auto draft PMT for a membership set to come out on the 15th, but their monthly visit happens on the 10th. I could see that the patient, I could still see that patient and create an invoice, then just leave it unpaid until the payment comes through. That payment will sit in their credit So yeah, you're talking about a carryover. Currently, you can't carry over. The date of the invoice is the factor here. So um, in a membership situation, because on a package, it doesn't matter as long as it's not expired. But in a membership situation, if they've redeemed all of their redemptions for a billing period and they want to essentially get a service done that won't be able to be redeemed until their next billing period goes through, then you could just delay the creation of the invoice. And, if you know the person and you trust them, you could, you don't have any usage left on this billing period, but I know that your usage is going to be reset, in 2 days. I'll create your invoice in 2 days and then redeem it then. You could do that. The other way around is if they didn't redeem a membership during a previous billing period, but they want to use it like a carryover, that currently is not possible, but that will be possible soon. We are going to be adding that in so that you have the option of redeeming against past unused redemptions. And so, yeah. How much for the package? I'm not sure what that, like, you set whatever price you want for packages. So,
Or are they talking
whatever
about
you
the
want.
add-on feature?
It is an add-on. Yeah, it's $10 a month for the packages and memberships add-on. Can I ask a question to be unmuted? Yeah, no, 1 sec. Let me just find you on the list. Shara. Okay, go ahead, Shara. I've asked you to unmute.
Hi.
Hey.
So I run a mobile business, and I had a client looking to do like a package. Now I get the point where you like do the package, but I charge a certain fee. So I see where the patient pays, but she wanted to see like if I was telling her to pay up front. And then each time I understand you put it towards the credit. That part I was a little confused with, but she wanted to be able to submit the insurance receipts afterwards from after each visit to her, I guess, to her insurance after the fact. Because I'm not like I can direct bill, but I haven't quite. I don't have it set up for this specifically. But I'm trying to see like how much of a difference would it be for that specific package? And then if I wanted to do a membership, like, does it matter how much the membership difference is? Because like as an RMT, I'm doing mobile. I don't charge like $100. Like I have, my fees are a little more different. So what would be, I guess, a standard membership fee? Like, let's say if we do $100 a month, and then the, I guess each difference of like, okay, they pay only get one booking, or is that like one booking or a discounted booking? Like, can you add a discount? Like say, okay, you get a membership, $100 a month, and you get like a certain percentage off your booking. You get 2 bookings a month and you get like 10% off. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, so that's how you would set it up. So if you see my screen here,
Yeah.
so see where it says $100. Forget
Yeah.
about everything else. This is the regular price of what you're talking about. And say you would allow, if I was setting it up, for example, so I want them to be able to book this follow-up massage 2 times a month, and regular price if they book it is $200. But because they're paying me up front, I'm going to give them a 10% discount. So I'm going to set the cost or the value of that membership. So it's going to recur bill. I'm going to set it up at $180. So instead of paying $200, they're paying me upfront every month $180, and I'll allow them to book these 2 services. So they're basically going to get a $10 discount.
Oh. Okay, now I get it. So if they want a membership, I just say like, hey, you're getting like $10 off. This is your membership fee for the month.
Yeah, you charge a less amount. So when you're setting it up, you have to look at the cost. So if I go back to that, and maybe that's a good point here, and let me just go back to that when I'm setting up either, it doesn't really matter, a membership or a package. So for example, when I go to my services, I know you can't see my drop down, but this follow-up is worth $100. There's $100 you can't see here. And so if I wanted to sell 6 of them, for example, that'd be $600. But I'm not gonna, why would someone give me $600 up front I might as well just pay as I go here. So, but if you
Yeah.
said to someone, this is normally $600, I'm gonna sell this to you for $500. And I'm
Okay,
gonna allow you to book 6 appointments in the next 3 months.
okay,
So what it does, it forces someone to book it, and after 3 months, it expires. And so if they book 2, you have to decide what you want to do with that additional, if you're going to allow them, or if you said, sorry, you've paid up front, you've agreed to, that you have to book 6 within 3 months and you didn't, sorry. Or however you want to handle that, but basically the price is set is the discounted value of, because they're paying you up front.
okay. So that's for the package. So that's set, and then they have 3 months to
Same with the
use it.
membership. The membership is the exact same thing. So
So
again,
how, sorry, before you go into that, how would the invoices show though? That's the part
It's
so
just-
I like, that's because you were moving so fast and I just didn't
okay.
catch that.
Yeah, okay, no problem. I'll just go back to an invoice and I'll just show you how it redeemed against an invoice. So if I come back to a normal invoice, so I believe, I haven't created an invoice here. I can do it a bit slower. So I've created an invoice. I select invoice, whatever. Oh, this one doesn't have a redeem against it. Of course it doesn't. Let me go to Ken Jennings. And I'll go through this again. Let me just delete this.
Thank you.
Just give me 1 second.
No problem.
And okay, so I'll just delete this and so I'll start again. So he comes in, I create the invoice.
Mhm.
I hit invoice 270, for example. We detect that he has a package on this or a membership or something. I don't know what he has on this, but this service here it's normally $60 qualifies. And so I hit the redeem button and there's a patient in this case. I'll go to this one down here. He's already prepaid this. There's no patient pays and he gets 30 minutes. And so
Oh,
I hit redeem and basically we're giving him the value of that package. He's paid me $500 already. And so we zero out the invoice for him. And so there's an adjustment of $60. So basically there's the membership. We're applying he didn't pay us $60, but we're applying the value of what he paid for the membership, which would have been $500 in this case, but we've adjusted his invoice. This is how the invoice would look.
okay. So let's say he bought like the package and it was like worth 500 and the treatment he has right now is like, I don't know, 170. We would redeem some of that towards that. Is that how you're making it? Or like in a membership sense? Okay, maybe in the membership sense that,
The membership is the exact same thing.
okay. So if he had like the discount in for that, whatever the thing is, he has 2 to redeem or 1 to redeem, and then it come up like this. So this would be able to, this receipt here, if they wanted to go and submit to their insurance, that
This
would
won't
be
work.
fine.
This won't
This
work.
won't
because
work.
This will not work because it's not showing a payment. This is one that was set up to basically credit this amount here or zero this amount out or discount. So if you go to the other one, this other invoice, so if I go to this other invoice, basically I set, if you look at this invoice, I'll explain how this was set up.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's where I was.
So down here, I set that patient. So the services normally, forget about all this red and everything. The services normally set up regular $100, but I set this up as an insurance friendly package and I put the patient pays. So every time an invoice is generated, it's going to say he owes me $90. And all we're doing is we're getting this $10 off. We're adjusting this by $10. And so he's got to create a transaction. He can submit this to his insurance company for $90. They will reimburse him if he has coverage for $90. You have to show this transaction. And that's why when you sell a package.
Oh, so the transaction has to be showed of how much he pays for them to submit. So,
yeah.
So even if they pay up, so even if they pay up front in a membership.
The insurer's not
Or
going
in
to
a-
pay for services in the future. So you have to show payment on an invoice at the time of it's been rendered. And you can say this has been rendered and he paid me $90 at the time of this receipt.
Okay.
There is a
All right,
help
I'm gonna move
article.
to the next question.
Yeah, there is a help article on it if you just want to go through it in a video on this.
All right, perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, Christine, you have a question?
Hi, guys. Yeah, I'd like to go back to when you sold the package for 540. sorry, for 540, you show us how to do that, but could you show us how to redeem it? And how does it look when the client comes for their treatment and it will show, you know, -1 treatment if he, I think he bought it for 5 or 6 booking, and
Yeah, okay, so this one here, I'll put this back on. So this one, can you see this? If you're looking at my screens, can you see it says
Yeah.
5 of 6 bookings here?
yeah.
Okay, I just want to just see what's in here before I book this on the calendar. So this is a follow-up Cairo. Let me put that back on the calendar and we'll see. Okay, so I'll book Ken another appointment in the future. So I'll go here and I'll put Ken on. So he's already deemed one. So if you think of this, Christine, he's already deemed one. I'm going to do the follow-up Cairo. I just got to make sure I grab the right one. So he's booked in here. So he shows up for his appointment. Okay, from here, I have no idea anything about him. I don't know of any packages. And all I'm going to do is I know he's got a follow-up Cairo. I create the invoice and I go to the invoice and we automatically detect there's something on here. There's something we can redeem against the service. We don't
Yeah.
know yet. Okay. And so when I click this redeem button, because he has he has 2 packages that can redeem, but here's that 5 of 6 up here. And if I redeem this, okay, it then applies, well, he owes $50 on this, but it applies the count to that package. Okay, so if I go back to Ken Jennings and I look at that package, there will be a count and it'll say now 4 of 6 right here. Because I grabbed the wrong one. It was a 4 of 6. So we'll keep track until it's 0 of 6. And when there is nothing to be redeemed against, that redeem button on that invoice will be grayed out and you won't be able to click it.
Okay,
not
well, I
sure.
guess we have to really play with your new. There's a lot of information, like you said. We just have to play with it, and
Yeah, and there's another view that I forgot to show you, and there is also in here, like you can see your package and membership, so you can see any one that, you know, the redemption, the usage remaining, and it shows you all your package and memberships as well. So these are your package. So you can take a quick look which ones are active, which ones are in the past, and so you can filter and which ones have been paid and which ones. So you can also take a look at an overview if you wanted to of your packages that you have sold.
but it's, you know, from the 540 that you sold, does that give you -$50, or, you know, the booking you've done? Do you have like that account?
Sorry, I don't quite understand. Sorry.
You know,
Are you
you
talking about
sold
the,
the
are you talking about
you
the sales
sold the
report?
package of 540 for 540
Yeah.
earlier. Do you have that showing somewhere?
Yeah, you can run a sales report and you can grab in the columns in the services here. You can run, if you wanted to, you can run all the package and memberships you sold as well. So you can create that in the sales report if you wanted to. I don't know if I'm answering your question, if that's what you wanted to see. I'm not sure if that was the question. I'm not sure.
Well, I
answering?
guess, yeah, it will. I have to play with it, and maybe I'll have a quick session with you later.
Okay, sure, fair enough.
Yeah, we can always follow up individually and support tickets and conversations there as well.
Is that it, Ryan? Or are there other questions? Because I can't see the chat.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I answered them in the chat. Account credits applied just like any other transaction. Packages and memberships can have taxes applied both to the sale and to the redemption side. So, yep, that's it.
Okay, well, thank you,
I have a
everyone.
question about receiving payment from an invoice. I've had to go to Square. I have a question about receiving payment from invoice. I've had to go to Square. I don't know what that is, but if you want to email support@notero.com,
or just
we
unmute.
can definitely look into that. Oh yeah, sorry. I can unmute if you'd like.
Okay, sorry, that was confusing. My
Yep.
question is that I invoice the patients, but they're like, we can't pay directly from this invoice. And so I'm having to go over to my Square account and set up a new invoice from Square and email them that they can pay directly.
Are you connected to Square in your Notero account?
Yeah, but it's not allowing, like when I send the invoice, it's just sending them an invoice. They can't pay directly from it.
Mm.
Even though on my Square account, you can pay directly from the invoice. So I feel like I'm
Let-
having to double do it.
We'll have to do a screen share on that one, see what's going on.
Okay.
And give you proper advice. If you email us at support@notero.com, we'll kick things off there and we'll just hop
Okay.
on a screen share.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah, the people that were having, just in general on Square, if you are having problems with Square not recording payments that happened in person that you would expect to, there was an issue with that. That was actually recently resolved this morning. So, but yeah, anybody that has any other issues with anything specific to their account, just send an email to support@notero.com. That'll kick things off, and whether we need to do a call or a screen share, we'll figure it out. Any other questions? Doesn't look like it. Nope, I think we're good. Okay, well, thanks everyone. For everybody else who's still here, thank you very much. If you have any other questions,
there a
again, just
question?
email support@notero.com.
There's one about
Nope,
the
those are just thank yous.
the
Oh.
GST? Or did you answer that?
I did. I covered that one. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is all available right now. So this is all available. You just need to add the add-on to your account. Just in your subscription, it's called Packages and Membership. It's $10 a month. Yeah, and you just turned it on.
Okay, great. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks. Bye.